Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys Secret Base figure preview video. Now before we begin, I do have to say a massive thank you to Ryan Kirkwood for snapping these absolutely glorious pictures, and of course this high-res video as well. Show Ryan some love down in the comments below, because without him this series literally wouldn't be possible. If you are looking to pre-order your very own armorized version of Deadpool, he is up with toyswonderland.com. Link for that is of course down in the description below, and they do have 12-month installment plans if you are a fan of paying off your figures over time. This to me was a huge surprise. It's kind of wacky, kind of out there, but also kind of really cool. I don't know if I'm just bored with seeing standard representations of characters from the film translated into figure format, and I'm wanting something different. But if that's the case, this definitely checks that box. As I said, it's wacky, it's out there, but I really like it. It's basically, at its core, a War Machine / Iron Man figure painted in Deadpool colors with a ton of added weapons and accessories, and a few additional newly sculpted parts and pieces to create pretty much an entirely new look for him. And it's striking. It's something that honestly kind of makes sense. The merc with a mouth in an Iron Man suit? Heck yeah, count me in. It's something that I didn't know I wanted until Hot Toys showed it to me. And now that they have, I'm really darn excited to get my hands on it. It'll work pretty much perfectly alongside the previously released video game version of Punisher War Machine. I mean, that's Punisher in a War Machine / Iron Man suit. This is Deadpool in a very similar format. I'm hoping that this isn't the last of this Armorized Warrior line. That's what they're calling it. That's the big name of the entire series. This is of course the first one in that series, but I'm envisioning a whole line of armorized Marvel characters. I'm seeing a Wolverine, I'm seeing a Spidey. Of course, they could go really deep and also eventually give us a really stylized version of Iron Man and War Machine. I'd be all in for that also. You do get this blaster piece as the special edition accessory. It literally replaces the entire forearm, and I'm fairly sure it lights up as well, so they must be using some of the Mark 50 tech with those contact pins to light the entire thing up. Plus, of course, he would have the repulsor blaster as well on there, so I'm 99% sure this piece lights up. It's a pretty awesome looking blaster, so yeah, I'll be getting the special edition to make sure I get this piece right here. Now let's talk about the other bits and pieces he comes with. You already saw he does come with an array of hands, and they are painted very nicely. He's got the punchy, vibrant red. It's kind of this pastel color red with this matte texture about it, and I really like the way it looks. Plus he comes with a ton of accessories, and also this hexagonal display base. You can see Armorized Warrior printed on the top there and Deadpool on the front. Super weird name for the line, but either way we'll choose to ignore that, or at least I will. As for the armor itself, it looks gorgeous. That matte red paint works a treat. A lot of matte black on there, some gunmetal, some silver, there are rivets here and there. Plus a very subtle level of chipping. It's almost unnoticeable unless you really are looking for it, but that's a good thing. I think it would distract a little bit to the overall look of this suit. This is kind of when Deadpool steals the suit, or somehow gets his hands on it, and freshly repaints it into his color scheme. Now you can see, this is all pretty much new sculpt. I am fairly sure underneath this is the Mark IV War Machine. I'm pretty sure the skeleton, the endoskeleton if you will, is the exact same engineering as the Mark IV War Machine, which I'm totally fine with. That works for me. Now you can see some of his added weapons being of course those two blades on his thighs, plus another one down there on his shin, so already you're seeing a ton of added bits and pieces. Plus he is carrying a very Deadpool style pistol in his black and red color scheme. He does have his branding on point as well with his Deadpool logo belt buckle. Belt buckle completely unnecessary when it comes to an Iron Man suit, but the designers who were making this, I think, had a little bit of fun with it, and I like that. It shows that they've really thought about the design, and they want to make it very Deadpool inspired, but still hold on to that Iron Man lore, and also the mythology of how a suit would work, but as I said, also add to it. I think they've done a really good job here, so kudos to the design team over at Hot Toys. You can also see his little throwing blades on his sides. You get 2 slots where they sit in for both sides, so he has 4 little containers of throwing blades. As you can start to see, this guy has quite a few accessories. He also has a variation to the red paint. So it's not just that matte pastel red, there are also some sections with this darker red color. On the forearms, on the biceps, also on his abdomen there. It just adds a little bit of differentiation to what would otherwise be a little bit of a basic color scheme. They have gone a little bit more in depth with the coloration here. Another shot of the pistol. This thing looks like it means business. I love it. It kind of looks like a Nerf gun, but also a big honkin' Magnum-style Robocop pistol. I don't even know what this is supposed to be, but it looks like you don't want to be on the business end of it. He also has a little bit more of that red paint that extends around to the other side of the bicep, kind of like some panel line detail, if you will, and some silver and that matte black paint on the outside of his forearm. So, as I said, it's not just a basic repaint of an existing War Machine or Iron Man suit. They have done a lot of work here, a lot of new parts and pieces, a lot of re-sculpted stuff, but if you are paying close attention, you probably will have already spotted a couple of things which are borrowed from the War Machine Mark IV. Number one, those sort of gunmetal vent sections on the sides of his chest plate. I'm 99% sure those are borrowed straight from the Mark IV. Totally fine with me, because that suit is a big chunky badass anyway. And you can also see those shoulder panel pieces that kind of sit up there on his traps, also borrowed from the Mark IV War Machine. I do like the new chest plate. They've kind of included a little bit of a textured style pattern on that chest plate there, just on the edges. Little bit to throw back to his Deadpool suit, perhaps? I think that's what they were going for. You can also see he comes with a massive red sword, and this thing looks awesome. I'll absolutely be having my Deadpool displayed with one sword and also one of his pistols. But he comes with 2 of each. He also comes with some shells up there on his shoulder armor plate. I am curious to see if you can remove those like you could on Deathstroke from Arkham Origins, but you can also see he can slot the sword and the pistol onto his back, so you do have weapon storage for all of the accessories if you just want to have him straight up repulsor blasting people. You don't have to have him using his Deadpool style pistols and katanas, you can have him using some Iron Man tactics. That's the cool thing. It's a hybrid between 2 of the coolest Marvel characters out there, and I think this was a match made in heaven. Something that does have me a little bit worried though is the eyes on the helmet. As you can see, this is how he'll be if you don't have the lights switched on. And it kind of is missing something. Deadpool has those iconic piercing white eyes, especially now in the film they use them a lot to have him emote. But with this figure, it's wearing an Iron Man helmet, totally fine with that. I would have loved for them to have included some frosted white lenses. I mean, you could still light them up. When you flick the light switch, they will light up perfectly fine. They're still translucent. But they would have looked lit up and still been white when you don't have the LEDs switched on. Because let's be honest, how many of us who are just regular collectors and don't have soap reactors are going in and switching on those LED little light switches in the various panels and then waiting for them to die out, and then switching out the batteries and doing it all over again? I'm willing to bet that not many of us, so I'm hoping that they make a change and do the white eyes for the final version, but that's my only complaint. The rest of it, I'm super happy with. It's weird, it's out there, it's unique, but I love it. Now, if you are looking to pre-order it, it is available from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. Also, while you're down there, check out the link to 6 Scale Network, the awesome Facebook group. Come along, chat figures, share photos of your collection, and of course, see what's coming up next on the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.